joined by Baylor assistant coach Tony Greene, Baylor women's basketball. Another piece, at least, of the Big 12 championship for a 12th consecutive year, and it has not been easy. Can you try to explain what you have seen this program, these players, the staff, and everyone involved get to the point where they have claimed part of the Big 12 title?
David, it's been a true test of character, this run that these young ladies have made. I think Nikki Collins has done an excellent job of keeping the entire program just focusing on getting better day by day, practice by practice. We took some lumps. We started out 0-2, but one thing I can tell you about our young ladies, they are dedicated to Baylor. They're dedicated to Nikki Collins, and they never flinched. As a staff, we met, and there are some things that we wanted to do that we felt like could improve, our ability to win games, or close games, I should say. We had some adversity with COVID as well, but I just think it just shows the true character of our head coach, Nikki, and the resiliency of our young ladies and their commitment to winning for their fine university.
Everyone that came to this program knew what the standard was. You knew that it was going to be a huge spotlight. Was it ever at any time at 0-2 or at the end of the game at Kansas when you find a way to win, was that ever thought of as a burden?
Of course. I mean, you can look at it as a burden, but when you're a true competitor, you look at it as an opportunity. It could be a burden. It could be a little stressful at times, but it's frustrating. But that's just part of life. When Nikki called me about the job, we never looked at it as like a real burden. We just looked at it as an opportunity to come and continue to do something, to be a part of something great at Baylor. And, of course, we knew the challenge. We knew that, following last year's staff and the success, nothing but a championship would be considered success here, especially in our first year. So we looked at the opportunity, and I believe our whole staff embraced it, and we just tried to work our butts off and make sure that we got the job done.
What were those conversations like when you were on the phone with Nikki and she was interviewing you?
First time we talked for 4 hours.
Wow.
Yes, we talked for 4 hours. And get this, David, we never talked about basketball. The first time we talked. The only conversation we talked about that had that basketball was mentioned, we were just talking about the Black Lives Matter movement that was in Atlanta and what she, some things that she faced and stuff like that. I asked her, and she told me, but that was the only basketball conversation we had. She made it clear to me that she was looking for people that she would enjoy to work with, and that was going to put the players first, because those were the two most important things to her. And we talked about our families. We spent a lot of time talking about our families. I learned a lot about her family. I let her know things that was important to me, and when it came to my family and things that my kids were doing and my wife was doing, and the type of staff I would like to work with, and we talked a lot about life, things that was going on in the world. So, but that's what we talked about. The second time we talked for 3 hours. And we talked a little bit more about basketball. Never really talked about what my role was going to be here or anything like that. But we talked about Baylor and the opportunity and how tough it was going to be, following up the past, the staff before us, and the success that was already expected here at Baylor. We talked about that. And she said, listen, 90% of the people in this world, 99% of the people in this world will always say, don't follow a Hall of Famer. be the coach that followed the person that followed the Hall of Famer. And she said, you know, Tony, I'm just different. I'm not wired that way. I told her, I'm not either. You know, an opportunity is an opportunity. And so we knew that we were just going to focus on being the best version of ourselves. She made it perfectly clear that she just wanted to be the best version of herself and implement the game plan in place that she had, her vision for Baylor. And you know what, David? She really stuck to the game plan the entire time and never flinched. She even told the girls, you know, even when we wasn't doing well, she told the girls, when we were 0-2, she said, listen, we're okay. She said, people are going to say what they're going to say. They're going to be doubters. She said, but listen, I'm going to take the first. I'm going to be the person walking through the door first. I'm going to take the first bullet. And, you know, and I thought she did a great job of doing that and letting the girls know that she was fearless. And we just stayed focused on our job. When we were 0-2, she made the girls write up on the board their goals that they wanted out of this year. And probably 99% of our girls, I believe, they wanted to win a championship. We were 0-2, and she said, you know what, we could still do that. And you know what, we did. We put ourselves in a position to where we could share it, and hopefully after Sunday we can put ourselves in a position where we own it by ourselves.
You know, you've been everywhere. You've been at the highest levels of Division I. Now you're at a place that's won 3 national titles, and you just, again, the piece of the championship, and you want more. One of the elite women's basketball programs, Ole Miss. And then you've also been Toledo. You've been at HBCUs as well, Grambling. I believe, Texas Southern as well. How much are you a grinder? Are you just somebody that just grinds every day?
I'm a server. I believe in serving people. And when it comes to doing my job, whatever staff I work on, I focus on 2 things, David. I focus on the responsibility that my head coach has given me. And I focus on how can I make the staff better outside of just my responsibility, if that makes sense. Like, what else can I do to make us whole, to make us function better? And all my life, I just been fortunate I just stuck to those 2 things, and I've been blessed to move up to this level. Like, I've never, in 28 years of coaching, I went to one, probably 3 years ago. Out of 3 years ago, I went to my first seminar to you want to be a head coach, you know, or I've been to that. I've been to one of those. All the other times, I never went to those seminars on how to move up or how to network and how to be a better assistant coach and you want to be a head coach. I never went to those seminars. I just focused on doing my job, and my phone would ring. Like, I didn't know Nikki. My phone rung. She called me. I didn't know Coach Yo at Ole Miss. She called me. I didn't know Megan Duffy at Marquette. I was just fortunate enough that people that have rubbed elbows with me or worked with me or saw me from afar recommended me, and I'm so blessed to where that I have for those people who have mentioned my name to where I'm able to be at this level and be at Baylor University.
You have 5 children. You and your wife have 5 children, 4 girls, and, of course, a son. How much does raising girls help you communicate with the girls inside the Baylor athletic program as far as in basketball?
It's a huge advantage. I'm telling you, it's a huge advantage. I just learning how different my daughters are. They are so different. You know, their personalities are different. How to motivate them are different. How to teach them, they learn differently. Like, they are so different, and it helps me. They have helped me through my career to learn how to notice and look for certain things. You know, sometimes, you could look for certain things or see certain ways you can motivate or encourage a young lady, because my daughters are different, and I have to be different, for them. So they have really prepared me and made me better as a coach, to handle young women.
How good is Nalissa Smith?
She's the best I've ever seen in person when it comes to a female basketball player. And I've been doing this a long time. David, she does some stuff like I've never seen done before. And what I mean by good, I'm not talking about just scoring the basketball, but her ability to rebound the basketball out of her area is amazing. She's one of the best rebounders I've ever seen out of her area. Like, she goes up, she can jump from one block to the other block and grab a rebound. And that's, and not a lot of female athletes can do that. But her ability, I think Nikki has really given her an opportunity to showcase her skill set as well, to where she's just not a low block player or paint scoring forward. She can score on the perimeter. She can face up. She's pretty good in transition too. She's a good finisher in transition. So I think she deserves to be the number one draft pick in this year's draft.
Is she better at basketball than you are at remembering names?
She's way better at basketball than I am at remembering names. I'm going to tell you, David, I'm going to tell you why I struggle remembering names, okay? I have 8 brothers, 1 sister, a host of uncles, a host of nieces and nephews. My mind it has so many names in it, I can't even, I can't keep track. So I have a huge family. So it's hard for me to log friends and staff members and practice guys' names all in my head.
Your specialty is coaching defense. I love that. With what Dave Aranda's done in football, what Scott Drew's done with his team, and how good they are defensively. Where did your background learning and coaching defense come from?
Actually, I was mentored by, early in my career, when I was young, I think I was 24, 25 when I first started coaching. I was actually mentored by football coaches and at Langston University. Coach John Montgomery, Marty Stewart, and both of them. Marty was the defensive coordinator. John Montgomery was the offensive coordinator. And John ended up leaving and getting a job, but I started really studying up under Marty, how he prepared and stuff like that, and different things you can do. And so I just fell in love with the defensive side of the ball because I was mentored, from a majority of the time from defensive coordinator. But then once I got to when I worked for Cynthia Cooper, she allowed me the ability to be her defensive guy. And then it just took off from there. We won a championship our first year, and then I left there and went to University of Toledo, and Tricia Cullop hired me to be her defensive coordinator, and we won a championship. And when I got to Ole Miss, I didn't coach. I was just a post coach at Ole Miss. But once I got to Marquette, Megan Duffy wanted me to be on the defensive side as well. So it just sort of fell in my lap. Something that I embraced. My head coach has had enough confidence to put me in that position to where I could really zone in on one side of the ball. And I think that, once the responsibility was given to me, I just really dove into it. And I started picking brains of other coaches that I admired. I've been to men Final Fours. Every program I ever been to, I always had a relationship with the men coaches. even here, I talk to Coach Tang all the time, getting suggestions, just picking their brain. And I just been I guess the defensive tag just sort of fell in my lap. And I was very, when Nikki asked me, what I would like to do in our meeting, I told her, I love to be on the defensive side, and she had enough confidence to let me focus in on the defensive side of the ball, which I'm really grateful for.
Tony, it's great to know you a little bit better, and some of the great stories and how you and Nikki just kind of started that relationship and your career. You were a student athlete at Langston. As, of course, a lot of people think about how great Hollywood Henderson was when he came out of Langston, played for the Cowboys from that same university. Thanks for your time, man. Congratulations on the share. I know you guys want to win it outright this weekend against Tech. Tony Greene, Baylor women's basketball assistant coach, Sic'Em 365 Radio and 365.